Hey folks, folks, welcome back to another Poem Massive video, and today, or at least, I guess tonight, at least where I'm at, it's tonight. It's different times depending on where you're at, right? So, at the reset, we will be getting the, Zacian Pokefair banner, and this banner it's a rerun, right? But unlike the, usual reruns that we've been getting with Pokefairs, right? This one actually, came by herself, right? Because usually, or at least recently, right? A lot of the Pokefair reruns that we've been getting have been like dual Pokefair, or even in case of the Kanto one, like trio Pokefair reruns, right? And this one's just by herself. So there's only really one unit to talk about. So let's talk about it then. So Gloria and Zacian, right? She did get much better. Well, I wouldn't say much better, a bit better, right? With Leon now, right? And all, Gen 8 sync pairs got better because of Leon. And by all, I mean all four, all four of them that are in the game. And that's nice. And they actually work relatively well together, right? And we'll get to that in a bit. Let's just go quickly over her kit for those who don't know, right? So really good attack, solid HP, okay-ish defenses, right? The really great thing over here is fantastic attack and fantastic speed, and the speed doesn't even stop there because she has so much speed. It's kind of insane, right? So she also has move gauge boost, which is, it's move gauges, but you generally don't want to use it, right? But you also have move gauge refresh 4 for your passive. On top of that, you got double move gauge refreshes for your Behemoth Blade on your grid, which, by the way, is a 4 gauge move, right? So she's going to be very good for your team's gauges, which is the reason why it's really nice running her with Leon, right? Because not only does running her with Leon give you the damage reduction buff and the attack, the damage buff, right, with a Galar Flag Bearer, you're also not having to worry too much on gauges because, again, over 400 speed, move gauge refresh 4 on passive, and then 2 move gauge refreshes on your moves on the grid as well, right? So like you should be fine as long as your like third unit isn't like too slow or whatever, right? And you give your team some speed, you should be relatively fine spamming 2 like 4 gauge moves at your opponent, right? So as for the rest of the kit, I got Play Rough, which is, just double coverage moves, right? One steel coverage, one fairy. And then you got Laser Sharp Focus, which reduces your sync move countdown by 1, sharply raises your attack, and then ensures your next attack is a crit. So you do have guaranteed crit sync moves here. And then on top of that, your Sync Burst gets this back every time you sync, right? So this is Gloria is actually fantastic for Battle Villa, right? Because like every time you sync, you get this back, so you could just go into Battle Villa and use your train move without worrying. As long as you defeat the opponent after you get your first sync, you'll just get it back, right? You'll get this MP back, which is really nice for Battle Villa. And on top of that, you got Fear Sentry 2, which gives you +2 attack after you enter the battle. So not only, do you get, +2 attack here and a guaranteed crit, you also get another +2 attack from your passive just from entering the battle. Again, very good for Battle Villa. So, as for the rest of its kit, right, in terms of the sync grid, she has one of the most boring sync grids in the game. Like, if you guys thought, like, the Anthos grid was boring, this is even worse, right? This is even worse because you just have, like, nothing. You have like 2 move gauge refresh on Behemoth Blade, which is, again, it's fun, right? It's cool. But then like outside of that, you got like Play Rough on a roll 2, which is cool. And then like it's nothing else. Crit Ferocity, which you really don't need because you're getting like +4 crit to begin with, and then after you sync, you get this back, or not +4 crit, +4 attack, and then once you sync, you get this back, and then you're at +6, right? I don't really get why you want Crit Ferocity. And then move gauge refresh 9 for move gauge boost, which why do you need that many gauges? And then move gauge boost MP refresh, which you don't really need. Got, obviously your regular damage nodes, all that stuff. And then outside of that, it's just super duper effective one for Play Rough is cool, I guess. And then after that is just a bunch of like random like sync stuff. Adrenaline 1, Head Start, which would have been slightly better if you had like just one more, I guess. Uh, but yeah, outside that, Headstrong, like her grid really isn't anything, right? So, if you really do want Gloria, like one copy of her is more than enough, right? At 1 out of 5, you get like one move gauge refresher for being the blade, and also the move gauge refresh for play rough, which is more than enough for Gloria's grid, honestly. Which, when you're running Gloria, you're mainly trying to run her double striker, right? You don't want to run her by herself because her damage by herself is not too crazy, right? I think it's on the lower end of the spectrum, which, by the way, Behemoth Blade does get its damage increased after the opponent sinks. So, like, this doesn't seem like much, but, after the opponent sinks, you do get an increase here, which you could also take advantage of the Master Mode, Champion State and Master Mode. If you want, you give your opponent sync move countdown, so you get your damage buff quicker or sooner, right? That's also an option. If you're running Zacian, right? But yeah, you definitely do want to run her double strikers because first of all, you can, and the other thing again, like I mentioned, for her damage isn't like too crazy. I mean, again, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. I mean, it's still really decent, especially once you get the extra 1.5 over here, right? It's same for her sync. She also gets the increase if the opponent already has sync buff as well. So, yeah, you run her double striker with Steven. It's fantastic, especially with Hilbert getting the sync grid soon, right? Running them with Hilbert is really good, or them with, like, Syncs of Blue or something. Or running her with, again, Leon, like I mentioned before, is really nice. I don't know, whatever else other relatively runnable strikers. And by that, either, like, some huge advantage or synergy with them together, or just some like really quick striker, right? So she is really nice for that, right? So as for the banner, again, it is a rerun with only her. Like if you really just don't need any other Pokefair and you just need Zacian, then this is probably your best banner to get her. But outside of that, right, I do really prefer the reruns where they give you like 2 or 3 Pokefairs on the same banner, because that gives you like a 3% chance of getting either one of them. Obviously, the chance of getting a specific one is slightly lower, but the odd of getting at least one of the two is much higher, right? So I do prefer those instead, right? So I'm not like a huge fan of the again, just single unit Pokefair reruns, unless again, like I mentioned before, you have got all the other Pokefairs and you just need Zacian. And even if you are summoning for Zacian, like I mentioned before, like 1 out of 5 is enough. 3 out of 5 is just overkill. Again, 2 out of 5 doesn't give you much. I think it gives you like what was it? Actually, 2 out of 5 gives you like almost like nothing. Super effective, and like you got like some play rough stuff, right? Which, I mean, again, she is a solid fairy type damage dealer, but like it's not necessary. If you like need a fairy type damage dealer, just go use a Xerneas, right? Xerneas should be more than enough. Obviously Xerneas not as good as Actually, I don't even know. Actually, yeah, I don't think Xerneas as much as Zacian. Don't fact check me on that though. I personally haven't like fact checked myself though, or not fact check. You can fact check me on that. That's fine. Don't quote me on that because again, I haven't checked it. But again, this is not the biggest deal in the world in my opinion, right? And then 3 out of 5, you get like one more move gauge refresh, and then everything else is like you don't care about anything else. Again, the move gauge refresh is nice, but everything else is just like no one cares, right? So if you really want Zacian, like 1 copy is just enough. And again, like I mentioned before, I'm not a huge fan of this kind of banner. But again, like I mentioned before, like if you just really want Gloria, don't care about anyone else, then this is the banner for you. But outside of that, I'd probably just wait. Like if you're gonna rerun Gloria in the future, maybe if they rerun her with like Alder or something, or rerun her with one of the or rerun her with Marnie. I guess that's also a possibility. Maybe, right? Or I don't know, and something like that. And outside of that, we still have, some great banners. At the moment, some great banners coming up, right? At the moment, we got, Leon, the Master Fair, which is amazing. Then you got, again, Marnie still up. You got, also, which, by the way, like, Marnie, I do think is, like, does Zacian's role, but, like, better. Obviously not in Steel Week stages or Fair Week, but if you're just using like Zacian, running her as like a generic secondary, striker, I just rather run Marnie instead, because Marnie does more damage more quickly, and Marnie also 2 gauge much less, cost there as well. So there's also that game. But again, that's just for like non-super effective. If you're just running dual striker and you just want to throw like another one in there. So again, the banner that's up right now, Marnie, would be probably a bit better for that. And also, again, Diantha's coming later this month, as well as I mean, if you're trying to like summon Zacian for like a fairy type striker, like bro, Diantha's coming in a few weeks. Just go for Diantha instead. So anyways, again, that's this one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me guys in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. So for channel, some more about masses. I'll see you guys in the next one.